Hey everybody, we are live here tonight. No, Jamie can't be with us, but backstage I got a very special guest. She is an author. You can find her books on Amazon. Wow, this is just amazing. She's going to teach you how to survive a zombie apocalypse. And not only that, she's like super cool, and this is her first time ever being on a podcast for sure. So, without further ado, I'm going to hit the intro, and then we're going to bring in our very special guest. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's rock and roll right here, right now.
Start building some hurting bombs.
Pressing me? Because your authority is not recognized in Fort Kickass.
Look, Doc, I just can't do it. I'll never learn to speak Greek.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I don't need no philosophy lesson here.
And I think that the spotlight should go on top of me. Yeah.
Master of misinformation, Mr. Know-It-All.
Is he always so cheerful?
She just told everyone your deepest, darkest secret.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe.
Just looking, thanks. I'll stand at the bar. I shouldn't wish to attract attention.
Don't get mentally erect.
Well, neither are you very much sure.
This is the way.
I think it's good, except it sucks.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
That's an attention getter.
The tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Are you ready?
Hey everybody! Now, once again, before I bring in our special guest tonight, she is a podcast virgin. This is the first time ever she's been anywhere, and she chose Angrygeeks to come on. So, without further ado, let's bring in Gayle Katz. Hi, Gayle. How are you?
How you doing? Howdy ho.
I'm still flattered that we are your first to be here, and for you to be interviewed right here on the Angrygeeks. I mean, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
And you're nervous, I know.
Can you tell?
Yeah, a little bit. But our audience is very lax, very polite, so don't worry about a thing. Before we get started, though, why zombies? That's what I want to know. I mean, I saw some of your books. Your books are available on Amazon, but why the zombie genre? Why zombies?
Zombies because they scare the shit out of me. That's probably why zombies. When I first met my husband, he introduced me to the world of video games, and Left 4 Dead became one of my most favorite video games, and that kind of sparked the zombie impulse in me, and it's all history from there. I'm all zombies all the time, for the most part.
Really? Okay, well, we got some comments. Joseph Burke from the UK says, hello from the UK, love zombies. And Aviva says, good evening, sorry we're late. It's okay, Aviva, we started a couple seconds late. So Left 4 Dead, now you also, with video games, is it just Left 4 Dead, or do you play other video games as well? And have you based any of your stories on a video game?
I have played, if there's a zombie game out there, I've probably played it, from Left 4 Dead to Dying Light to Arizona Sunshine, which is amazing because you're standing, it's virtual reality, and you're actually shooting in them as opposed to sitting down and playing on your keyboard. So if it's out there, I've probably played it. Maybe not well, but I have played it. You always
Have
end
you
up
played?
trying.
Have you played anything on the Quest? Do you have a Oculus?
I don't have an Oculus. I have the one from Steam.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what it's called, but it sits on your head, and I'm very new to virtual reality as well.
Okay.
So basically, my husband sticks this big helmet on my head, and after a while, about 30 minutes, I start to get a pounding headache. But it's really fun in the meanwhile.
Well, I'm right now. I'm playing Resident Evil 4
Ooh.
on the Oculus,
Mhm.
and it's so much different than playing on the GameCube
Mhm.
than on the PS3, then again the PS4, because they remade that game so many times, and also on the Wii I played that game. Every remake I played that game. This is the worst ever playing that game, and I mean that in a good way, because you panic.
Yeah.
Because you have to, because now you're put into a real life situation, and you have to reload your gun.
Mhm.
And with the Oculus control, I haven't even made it halfway through the game yet. And of course, you said yourself, you get a headache playing. So it's like, I drink, I read an article, drink a full bottle of water before you play to be hydrated, so you're not going to get sick or motion sickness when you go play, and limit your time. So I drink my bottle of water, I play for about 15 minutes to a half hour, but I just panic, and I can't do that. So with that being said, your profile says you can teach anyone to survive a zombie apocalypse. How would you teach myself or the Angry Geeks listeners and viewers, Greenfield and South Hadley Public Access, how would you teach us to survive a zombie apocalypse?
Well, the first step is to get in shape. That is the first step. So that's another reason why we picked up the VR headsets, because instead of sitting, you want to get some exercise. So you're up, you're moving around, you need to make sure you got your endurance, your strength. You gotta get in shape. That's number one, because you're gonna have to run. At some point, you're gonna have to run. So that's most important.
Okay.
You also know, step two, you need to have a bag that's completely packed with water, granola bars, flashlights, duct tape, anything that you're gonna need. Get a backpack, fill it up, make sure it's by the door. When you gotta go, you grab it and you go.
Why duct tape? I'm confused.
Well, duct tape comes in handy in so many ways. If you are trying to secure a door and you don't have anything else to secure a door with, if you are running through a crowd of zombies, you want to wrap the duct tape around your arms and legs, because that's where they're going to bite you, chances are. So the duct tape, a couple layers of duct tape, will prevent any bites for a certain period of time. It won't last forever, but it should give you enough time to skedaddle.
Okay. Now, do you prefer walking zombies or running zombies?
I'm not sure I have a preference. They both are scary in their own right. So running, which is where the strength training and endurance comes into play, you got to run. So they're scary because they'll come out of nowhere and they'll be right on you in seconds. The slow ones, traditionally the slow ones, they're scary because they come in crowds. So you'll see one and you're like, not a big deal. I can deal with that. No big deal. But then maybe 100 of them come out and then they start surrounding you, and then you're screwed. So you got it. They both have their pros and cons. They're both pretty scary. A lot of people don't subscribe to the fast zombie idea because zombies are dead. So their ligaments, their muscles, everything should be falling apart. So running is kind of difficult because you need to have all your all your muscles going,
Okay.
but it's what you make of it. So in my books, I have fast zombies, I have slow zombies, I have a character who is almost turning into a zombie, but then we pull her back. So it's they're all scary. I'd have to say I don't prefer any of them. They're all pretty damn scary.
Okay, what besides a gun?
Mm-hmm.
What is your preferred weapon to fight a zombie?
It'd have to be some sort of sword or dagger, because you're gonna have some close calls, and also guns. They're loud. Unless you have a silencer, I guess they are very loud, and the more you shoot, the more that come. But if you have some sort of long broadsword, or you have a dagger, those can be very quiet, and then you can do what you need to do and move on out.
Wow. How many books do you have out right now? I know you just had a new one that is on Amazon right now.
Yes, I have a whole host of books out there. My brain is wired crazily, so I am very scattered and I have lots of great ideas, and sometimes you just want to get the stories out and get them down on paper. So I have 2 zombie series. So that totals 13 books. Then I have a sci-fi series about going to Venus. That's 3 books. I don't know. I think I have like 20, 25 books. I've got some fantasy, some scary stuff.
And how long have you been writing for? And what took you so long to get yourself out there and get on any type of podcast?
Well, I've been writing since college, but I've only been publishing since 2018, 2019.
Oh, okay.
And what's taken me a long time? Well, I've got a bit of perfectionist in me. So when I put out a book, I need to make sure that I proofread it about 8,000 times. Because when you hit a stumbling block with punctuation or grammar or what have you, it takes you out of the story, and I don't want to do that to the people that are reading my books. I want to make sure they're completely immersed, and having crazy stuff like typos or punctuation errors will take you out, and I don't want to do that. So it takes me a long time to bring a book out because I want to make sure it's as close to perfect as possible.
What is your what would be the correct term? When we talk to an artist, I always say lead time on a commission. Mm-hmm. When you get an idea and you write that idea down, mm-hmm. how long does it take for this idea to come across and you have a book done? What was your longest project to get it finalized and perfect? And what was your shortest project to have finalized and perfect?
So the longest one would have to be my Zombie Slayer series. Zombie Slayer is kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets The Walking Dead, mm-hmm. is the best comparison I can make. And that's a 7-book series. That took a year and a half to actually come up with ideas, outline, write a first draft, write a second draft, get it edited, make revisions, all that. So I would say those 7 books took a good year and a half. Plus, it's not just the writing, of course. It's creating the right cover. It's writing the book descriptions. It's getting people to review it. It is, as a one-woman independent author lady, it is very time consuming and cumbersome, and there's so many things that you need to think of, and it takes a while because you want to get it as close to right as possible the first time. So that's been my longest. I think my shortest might have been I have a scary book out. Aside from the zombies, I have a scary book out called The Silent Cells, and that's more like psychological horror. Oh, there it is. You have it on there.
There it is right there.
It's all the way to the right. And that's just pure scariness. It's got sci-fi thriller, psychological horror kind of. And I would say that probably took from inception to publishing, that still took 5 months or something like that, because again,
Wow.
it takes I could do it fast, but I have a little bit of OCD. Okay, a lot of OCD. So I can't put something out there unless I know in my heart that it's ready for people to read and love.
Okay. Now you mentioned the right covers. How much do you have involved in these covers? I mean, do you pick out the models, or do you draw some of these? What do you have? What is your involvement? Not just being the creator, but how do you choose a cover? What do you do? Do you grab an artist, or do you grab a model? Do you pick that person?
So what I do is I try and see what other people are doing in the genre, because what's popular now hopefully will be popular in the next
Thank
year
you
or
for pulling
so.
that up, guys. Yep.
Sure. And I definitely pick models. I pick out fonts. I am not a graphic designer, so I have my designers create the covers. So all the fancy graphics and all the aesthetics that you see, that is not me. I am not a graphic designer at all, but I am trying to guide that person, trying to take their talents and make sure that it not only conveys the right genre, but it conveys the story in a picture.
All right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Charlie, that's your newest book?
No, Charlie is
No.
actually book 1 in my Zombie
Okay.
Slayer series. It's fabulous.
Okay.
But the newest,
And you can find that on Amazon.
yeah, you can find it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Charlie, you can also find it on most online platforms. So I'm in the process of making sure that as many people as possible can see my work. So I'm on Amazon, but I'm slowly moving wide. So the Zombie Slayer series, Charlie being book 1, is actually on Barnes & Noble and Kobo and other places like that as well. So, but my newest book is called Stone Guardian. It's pulled away from the zombie genre, and it's more
There you go. Okay.
paranormal romance. So it's still got that paranormal.
Not like Twilight.
Oh no, not like Twilight, but it's a cool concept, because I love libraries. When I was in college, I loved the libraries that were there, and buildings always have these interesting gargoyles and grotesques. They're called grotesques on the perimeters on the top of their buildings, and usually they're either there for just pure decoration to rid the building of evil spirits, but other times they're there for functional reasons. So it would drain water that pools at the top of the building. So it'd be like a spout, or what are those things that you have on your house that drain water?
Gutter?
A gutter.
A gutter?
A gutter, exactly. You took the word. You put the word in my mouth. That's good. Yeah, so it's basically a gutter. It's an ornate gutter that wards away evil spirits.
All right. The reason why I brought up Charlie, because of course, doing research, I was perusing by your Facebook page, and it said that there's a new zombie hunter in town. Her name is Charlie. I was like, oh, yes. I was like, oh, maybe that's the new book. So I just wanted to put that out there for everyone. I was trying to be a broadcast journalist here.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, Charlie's a great first entry into Zombie Slayer, and again, it is really like the inspiration is really Buffy and The Walking Dead. It's a hybrid. It's actually good for young readers as well, because it's not gory like The Walking Dead.
Okay.
And it's not vampires like Buffy, but Buffy did more than vampires. She slayed more than vampires. So it's a good hybrid. It's good for readers of all ages. I try and make all of my books for all ages.
Well, look at that. You just answered my next question. I was going to ask is it reader friendly? Have you ever thought about doing a graphic novel, or taking one of your books and making it for the comic book fan?
I have never thought about that. Maybe that's because
I'll give you 50% of the idea, and I only take 10%. How about that?
I can't. The challenge.
Wheeling dealing. That's what I do. What was that?
The challenge with that is I can't draw, so that's why.
Lady, I know a lot of artists. I know a lot of artists. Believe you me, I know a lot of them. I mean, from legends to upstarts, I know a lot of them. Okay. Trust me.
Okay. Well, I'm always open to anything. That's why I have the graphic designers who I bring in. I might bring in the fonts and the stock art and know what swooshes I want where, but I can't actually do that on my own. So but I'm open to anything. I would you like to produce one of the? Charlie would make a fabulous movie.
I just made a 4-minute movie not too long ago, only because I was pressured into it, and we talked about that last week.
Well, I'm not going to pressure you into anything, I
promise. But Joe Burke from the UK, who stopped in later before, he is a filmmaker and he is a screenwriter. So, and Joe is a good cat, and he was on the Angrygeeks a few times. So. What's next? I mean, do you have any other books that are going to be coming out soon? I mean,
soon?
What else do you got?
Well, soon. I don't know what soon means. That's a very subjective word for me. Soon. I am actually working on a follow-up to my Gargoyle series.
Ooh,
so it's basically the love between a gargoyle and a woman, or depending upon the book you pick up, a witch and a woman, or baby gargoyles. So I'm working on that, but I'm also on the same track working on a scary book, kind of like a string walker, a dimension hopper lady who is hiding out on Earth, and things aren't going well for her. So she's got to hop around and it's not looking good. So it's somewhat scary. So that's probably going to end up being a 3-book series.
Okay.
So, but soon, I'm not sure soon is the right word to use. I'd say I just put out my Gargoyle series. That's out right now. That just came out. I rapid released that in March, April, May. So that's the most recent.
And what was the name of that one?
That is Stone Guardian. You have it right there. That's
Stone Guardian, right next to this. All right, Silent Cells. What can you tell us about that?
Silent Cells is in a world where it's all dystopian and everything is effed up. It's a woman. She's lost her family and she's trying to make ends meet, and things aren't. She's having trouble. She's an honest, good lady, and she gets pulled into this conspiracy, and she's got to fight her. She's got to prove her innocence, and I don't want to give away the cool part, but it's really exciting and scary. And then at the end, you're going to go, "Oh my God, I didn't see that coming."
One of my favorite questions to ask any creator, especially if they are a writer, is where do the ideas come from? The one answer I like is, I had a dream. Where do your inspirations come from? Do you have a dream about it? Are you driving down the street and see something happen? Where do your inspirations come from?
Well, in a galaxy far, far away, long ago, people thought I was crazy, and I probably was. I probably still am now. I try and control it in public. Yeah, I try and control it in public. I don't want to get arrested. So I think it just pops in my head. I have a notebook that I keep with me all the time, and I jot down notes. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, normally screaming. No, I'm kidding. And so I have it I have it on my nightstand, and I write down thoughts. But they happen all the time. I can be eating dinner. I can be hanging out with my family. I could be doing anything, and it just comes to me, and I got to write it down. And they're just bits and pieces. It's not like it's an entire book or plot or story arc laid out. It might just be a spark of something that I'm thinking about, and it just, I don't know. I think from all of the media that I've consumed and all the life that I have lived, I look a lot younger than I actually am, just to let you know.
Fair enough. Fair.
They just pop into my head. I could be sleeping, I could be eating, I could be playing my VR headset, and then you gotta take everything off and stop for a minute and just jot it down.
All right. What's the worst zombie movie you have ever seen and said, I can do better?
The worst zombie movie?
Yeah, the worst zombie
movie. There are a
movie.
lot of them.
I know. There's like, go to Tubi. There's like every other one. But what is the worst that? And you said I can do better. What is name drop?
I think it was from the same people that produced Sharknado. I think it was like zombie tidal wave. I think it was zombie tidal wave.
I never even heard of that.
Pretty bad. I love bad movies, so I know on the television that we have, we get a channel called The Asylum, and they have a lot. It's mostly shark movies, though, mostly sharks, and I love them. Bad acting is. I could act badly too. I would love to be in a bad movie. So, like big shark versus, mechanical shark or whatever. So they do some fun stuff though.
Okay. What's the greatest zombie movie of all time?
The greatest zombie movie of all time. Well, here's my take on zombie movies. Long time ago, I watched Night of the Living Dead, and that was great. That was from the 60s or something.
The original, black and white.
Okay. Yes, and then the ending was horrible because he survived the entire night, and then in the morning they shot him in the head. Oh my gosh, that was horrible, right? That was like.
But it was a twist ending. I mean, did you think that was going to happen?
No, but
no.
The thing is, I want hope. I want hope in my zombie movies because it's already a tough topic. So I definitely want hope. So some great zombie movies that I've seen, obviously World War Z, where they find, an intermediary like way to avoid zombies. So there's hope, right? There's hope for that. What other? Zombieland, I think. There's
the first one was one of the.
One. The second one.
I have yet to see the second one.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
That's what I've been told. That's what I've been told. So I have yet to watch it because the first one didn't really need a sequel because it was perfect. You had the horror elements, you had the comedy elements. The quest to find a Twinkie was completed at the end. You really didn't need, and the boy got the girl. You really did not need a sequel.
Yeah,
you really didn't. You didn't. So I was told the second one's not as good as the first. You really don't need to watch it. Yada yada yada. So I kind of strayed away. Even when it came on to streaming services that we have. I didn't watch it yet because a lot of people are telling me not to. But Zombieland will be up in my top 5 for zombie movies.
Definitely. Also, video games like I think Arizona Sunshine is probably my favorite. It has displaced Left 4 Dead as my favorite zombie video.
I'm gonna have to write that down because I've never even heard it. Now, again, Jamie. Once again, I apologize for everyone tuning in to see Jamie. She's our gamer. Mm-hmm. She must have heard of this game, Arizona Sunshine. I've never heard of it. Now, it is just VR.
I think it's just VR. I am just playing it in VR. It is amazing because you're up. You're completely surrounded, and I think that's why I give myself headaches because every time you're in the virtual reality and you hear footsteps, you hear somebody stepping on dirt or something, I turn around and I whip my head around, and I'm like, who?
I'm playing a game right now that in on the Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Manor, and they tell you plug in your headset or plug in earbuds and play in the dark, even though you're in the dark.
Whoa.
And it's on the Oculus. They give you like every so often you'll get like through Quest like $10 to go buy a game or something like this. And this game was like on sale. It was a $50 game on sale, so I $10, I'll buy it. That was the worst $10 I ever spent in my life because I'm scared to play the game. I don't want to play it. And I told Jamie about that in private, and my wife, she laughs at me. Rose, she laughs because I don't want to play the game. It's scary.
Yeah, it can be scary.
Yeah, you walk into this room, and there's an organ over to your left, right, and to your left is like maybe Dr. Jekyll's laboratory, and it's just the scariest game ever. And like the girl from The Ring is there. It's horrible.
The girl from The Ring, yeah. The girl from The Ring.
I made it through like 2 doors, and that was it. I'm like, no, I don't want to play this anymore. It's scary.
I am right there with you. I remember when I saw The Ring for the first time, I couldn't sleep for 3 weeks, and I had to turn at night. I had to turn all the television sets around because
you're a horror novelist and you have nightmares.
I know. Well, it's scary. I love to write the things that scare me. Like when I'm writing, if I don't feel it, then it's not going to be good. So if I'm not personally frightened, like if I go to sleep and I don't have bad dreams, then it's not going to be good, and I might as well toss what I'm writing. So I love to be scared just like anyone else. My husband will attest to that because anytime I'm playing VR and something scary happens, I scream, and he's probably going deaf.
Yeah, VR and horror games in VR is definitely super scary. It's no. But Arizona Sunshine, I'm gonna have to definitely find that. Besides zombies, you're also writing another novel that you had just talked about. But what is the greatest horror movie you have seen of all time?
Oh my God, the greatest horror movie. So I would have to say something that sticks in my head would be Alien. That would be
the first one.
In my head, that is scary. I think it has to be Alien because the sound effects in that I feel like whenever I watch that movie, I can hear it. I can feel it in my chest. Like I can feel my heart beating when things get tough in Alien, especially at the end where it's one-on-one. Oh my gosh, that gives me nightmares. But I'm also a fan of Freddy Krueger. I grew up. It sounds weird to say I grew up with Freddy Krueger, but
no, it's not.
Grew up with him.
it is not weird at all. If Jamie was here, she would tell you that was her teenage crush. Yes, that's a lot of our listeners and viewers will say that as well. Fantastical Fantasy Tales. What can you tell us about that?
So, Fantastical Fantasy Tales is sometimes I'm a lover and sometimes I'm a fighter, I guess. Fantastical Fantasy Tales are short stories. They're 3 short stories. They're a couple books, 3 short stories in each. And it's basically a paranormal romance or a fantasy romance. So in one of them, it's a scientist finds and starts a relationship with a mermaid. There's also a human who falls in love, or there's a love triangle between a vampire and a demon. So there's also an angel in one of those books. So somebody hops on a plane, and it's kind of like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. She hops on a plane, and she's hoping to end up at her new job in Las Vegas, and then she winds up in this fantastical town, and then she meets an angel, and they go off and do they have their adventures, and then she stays because she can't leave. She loves that town.
I thought you were going to say, never mind. You don't want to know.
Oh, no. So, like I said, everything is PG-13. I mean,
okay.
All of my intimate.
To quote my hero, I thought you were going to say they bumped uglies. There you go.
they may. They do. But everything.
Okay.
Everything fades to black.
Everything fades to black. All right, Sorceress. That's a very cool comic booky cover. What can you tell me about that?
Sorceress is a great story. Sorceress is basically, I would say it's a coming of age novel for a young sorceress. She is being mentored, and her mentor asks her to kill her rival at another magical sect. And that's the only way.
That's Harry Potter gone wrong. My God.
So she accepts the quest because she wants to grow into a full-fledged sorceress. But then she starts to question, like, what am I doing? Is this person really that bad? She meets him. He seems really nice. I'm not sure why I have to do this. So basically, bad things ensue.
I would think so. I mean,
she hooks up with the person that she was supposed to kill, and then they're both accused of murder and treachery, and they need to prove that they didn't do anything and clear their names. And the whole world of magic is teetering on the brink. But I like hope. I like happy endings, even no matter what it is. So everything turns out okay, but it's you don't think it's going to happen until the very end.
Well, that one sounds very intriguing. It's definitely Harry Potter gone wrong. Brazen Planet. Now that one, the name itself, it just sounds badass to me. So explain to our listeners and viewers, Brazen Planet. That one. Hold on one second. Sure. In order to do that, we would probably have to do. Let's do this here.
I go Brazen Planet. That for sure. Brazen Planet.
Yeah. So tell us, what is that? That sounds amazing. It's a badass title.
Thank you. I need you to do my voiceovers if I need to do voiceovers. So it's a three-story series, and basically the world Earth is getting colder. Calamities are happening, and the main character, her mother, went out to space. She went to Venus because the scientists at the time believed that they wanted to take people, they wanted to save people. So if Earth is getting cold, they want to go one planet closer to the sun to buy some time to keep humanity alive. So basically it follows the main character's travels to follow her mother, who is basically lost in space. She follows her mother out to Venus. And while some people might think that the weather issues and the coming end of Earth is basically climate change, it's not. I mean, it is, but it's impacted by a third party. So it's an
aliens?
Alien. It's an alien story.
I just guessed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's and actually I don't want to give away that. She's not. Of course, the book is about her, so she's got to have some exciting characteristics. She can't just be, regular old human, right? So, but that's
Dorothy was
regular old human.
Yeah, right. Ripley was. You said you like Alien. Yeah, but go ahead. Anyway, it's your book. What do I know?
That's true. No, sometimes you're human. Sometimes you're not. In this case, she believes she's human. but she might not be, or she
Oh.
might be. I guess you
Okay.
got to read the book to find out. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good sales pitch. Wow. Very good sales pitch right there. Very, very good sales pitch. Man, all right. So we usually have question of the week, and I don't have one prepared. So usually it pops up on the screen like this, and last week was mustard or mayo. So this week's question, let's do this one more time.
I'd have to say with that one, it's definitely mustard.
Okay. How do you like your brains?
How I like my brains.
How do you like your brain? Oh, wait. Hold on one second. How do you like your brains? Chilled or not chilled?
I think I like them fresh, and I probably like them raw.
Fresh and raw. Oh, that's disgusting. Wow. Ah, my God. That is
It can't be that much different than sushi, right?
I hate sushi. That's just nasty.
I love it.
With the science fiction, do you have any plans or do you have anything written down for any other science fiction novels having to do with aliens? Anything you can give us a little bit? Well, I have an idea. Yes or no?
Well, what I'm currently writing, my sci-fi thriller that's kind of in process. It's been outlined. I've been writing. The main character is basically an alien living on Earth, but she seems like a regular person.
Okay.
And then she's got to hop to other places. So she goes to lots of different worlds.
Okay. Inspirations. Who are your creative inspirations?
I'd probably, if I had to pick off the top of my head, because it varies. I mean, I like Stephen King. He's scary as all get out. I don't know. I remember in high school I read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which really freaked me out. So Ken Casey, Ken Casey, I think that's his name. I think that's the author who wrote that. That was a long time ago. A lot of my stories, while they are not mysteries per se, they have a mystery element to them. So the TV show Bones was a good inspiration for me. I'm very much like the main character. I'm not sure I'm as smart, but I am as awkward as the main character. So I really identified with her. So I would say those are some inspirations, along with living with zombies for about 10 years at this point. I think those would be my main inspirations.
Okay, so is it safe to say, my next question was, out of everything that you created, out of everything that you do write about, I'm going to assume that zombies is the thing that you love to write about the most. Is that
Yes, it is. And you know what? Even if there is a zombie apocalypse, I wouldn't be adverse to joining them, right? If you're going to make me queen of the zombies, I'm with you all the way. Go ahead, go ahead and bite me. I'll be queen of the zombies. I'll lead. It'll be good. It'll be fun.
Okay, speaking of queen of zombies, did you see zombie? My God, I'm drawing a blank right now.
I know that feeling.
Yes. Hold on one second. I am really forgetting this right now.
That's okay. Shit happens. I get it.
My God, I can't. This is when I really need a Jamie right now. Holy moly.
Yeah, but zombies are number one for me.
The Army of Dead. What did you think of that?
Army of Dead. Is that the one with
Bautista. It was on Netflix. The Netflix movie. Zack Snyder directed it, and they had
Oh.
actually had a zombie queen.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that. Is it
Really?
That's not the one with oh man, there was an army of, that was Army of Darkness with the guy
That's
from Burn
Bruce
Notice.
Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, right.
Oh, Burn Notice, one of my favorite TV shows. Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
I love
No,
it.
Army of the Dead. That is a new zombie film. It's been out for about I'm gonna say a year, almost a year.
Really?
It's streaming on Netflix. Zack Snyder did it, and it's about a group of commandos that actually go to L.A. that's overrun by zombies, and they got hit by a zombie apocalypse, and they're trying to rip off a casino. You might like it. Check it out.
Ooh,
Yeah, you would definitely like Dave Bautista, who played Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
He's one of the stars, and you might like it.
Hey, does he have a different personality? In Guardians of the Galaxy, he's very deadpan.
Yeah, no. Well, that's his character. He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
No, he's very very likable in this. It's called Army of the Dead. I was going to ask you if you wanted to see that. You would probably definitely like that film. So
I'll
definitely.
look it up. Yeah. I could definitely be Queen of the Zombies.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Are you doing it now? You're looking. She's for those of you listening on the Earplug Podcast Network. She's actually looking up the movie now. I could see her doing that. Those of you watching us right now, please feel free to ask Gayle a question because she's perusing Netflix instead of paying attention to the audience. We can definitely see that. Resident Evil. Rate the games. What is your favorite one out of all of them?
I don't know. You know what? Resident Evil is an interesting beast because I've seen all the movies, I've played all the games, but I haven't played them in order. So they're all out of order for me, and I don't know. The movies are. I like Milla. Milla is amazing.
Yeah.
So I can't. Really
She plays Alice in the newer movies. For those of you questioning.
And the video games, I play them with my husband, and I die a lot. And I you know, they're all, they kind of got to condense them all into one because I can't really tell the difference between any of them. But I love them. That's another great one. I love strong females who kick ass.
Okay. The reason why I was bringing up Resident Evil because Army of Dead actually has this in it as well. How do you feel when a pet or an animal, becomes zombified? How do you feel about that? Does it work for you? As a creator, does it work for you?
It pulls at your heartstrings, like the one with Will Smith. That movie where they were
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Oh my God, his doggy, who was so sweet. Oh my gosh. I think that was the point. Like, I was fine throughout that whole movie, and then when he had to kill the dog, I started to cry. It was just but it definitely takes it to a different level. So I in some of the Resident Evil movies, yeah, those dogs are vicious though. Like,
yes,
yeah, they're vicious. But when they're turning, you're like, oh no, not the sweet little puppy. No, take me instead.
In your expert opinion, how long should it take for a human to turn into a zombie after a bite?
Well, it depends on where you get bitten, right? If it's up by your neck, right? If it's up by your neck, close to your brain, it's not going to take a lot of time, or it shouldn't. If it's by your leg, because it's all about blood, right? It's got to get into your blood system, and it's got to circulate. It's got to hit your heart or your head. And so I feel like if it's on an extremity, it'll probably take longer than if it's, right in your carotid artery or right on your face or something like that. So I feel like, if somebody bit you on the foot, you got to just chop that off. Uh,
All right, that was my next question. Are you a firm believer in that? Because in The Walking Dead and a couple other zombie movies, or TV shows and books, people got bit in the arm. Okay, they chop off the arm, cauterized the wound, and they didn't turn. I was wondering, in your expert opinion, if you were a believer in that.
Yes, and you know how you prevent that? Duct tape. Duct tape. That's how you prevent that.
All right, now. Would duct tape work along? Now, I always thought, to be honest with you, I would have made a suit of armor out of PVC piping.
The trouble with that is you don't have your maneuverability. It's hard to move.
Well, see, now, because of the comic book and because of going to comic book conventions and covering comic book conventions, I'm looking at Stormtrooper armor.
Stormtrooper armor, okay.
Yes, I mean, I know a lot of people that can make Stormtrooper armor, so they have the maneuverability, and it does cover your elbow. So I'm thinking they ain't gonna bite through that, right?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking Stormtrooper, body armor.
I'll sell you that idea for $50. Your next book.
I don't have Stormtrooper body armor. All I have is a closet full of duct tape. So that's what I have.
And for your fingers, a bunch of rings. You just put a bunch of rings on your fingers, and they can't bite your finger.
And you can punch.
Exactly.
Use it as brass knuckles.
Yes. See, I'll give you that one. That's a gift. You can keep that one. You can that is a gift from me to you. That is a gift. Transportation during a zombie apocalypse. What would you use?
Oh man, it's difficult because you want to hop in your car and you want to go as quickly. If you're in a city, you got to get out as quickly as possible. If you're in the suburbs, same thing. You want to get out to as far away as possible, which is why you want to have your backpack packed with food and water that will last a while. I would say you hop in your car, but if for some reason somebody's taking your car, you don't want to get into a gunfight with anybody. You don't want to be shot in the head by somebody who wants your car. So again, it goes back to strength training and having your endurance. And so, because at some point, you're going to have to huff it. You're going to have to start walking. And I would say if you need to, you gotta walk, but you have to make sure that wherever you're walking, you keep an eye out, because at least where I am, there are a lot of trees, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of places to hide. So
that was my next thing. What, in your expert opinion? Because I'm planning now. I am planning on zombies. So if it happens, I'm gonna somehow reach out to you. In your opinion, what would be the best place to hide out or fortify against an attack?
I would say someplace with very heavy doors. In my head, I would have to say some sort of old church or something where it's an old building, not like the crappy stuff they build now. You need an old building. You need strong doors. You need to be able to control your exits, and you need something where, despite scraping and clawing and someplace where they can't crawl over or jump over. So I would head to a church, and I would probably head to the second level, and that's where I would fortify for right now. But if I had
why the second level?
Well, because if somebody gets into the first level, you have some protection. So I would say while you're sleeping, you can walk around on the bottom floor, but you should really have whatever you need on the second floor, because when you're sleeping, you need sleep, or else you're probably going to go insane. So you really need to be on the second floor, because if something happens and a door is opened or something breaches, you want to make sure you hear something opening and you have some time to react, because if you're sleeping on the first floor, it's too late. Somebody opens the door, you get a rush of people, of zombies, and you're screwed. So, but if you're on the second floor, you at least have a good vantage point if you can shoot. it just gives you more time to react.
What's the best thing to fortify? We're at the 54-minute mark, so we got 6 more minutes left. What would you use to this is great. What would you use to fortify? What exact? I mean, movies we've seen. 28 Days Later, they use shopping carts. We've seen old damaged cars. We've seen a lot of things, but what would you use?
Well, if I'm in a church, I would probably see if we could unscrew it. Again, tools would be a good thing to have. Unscrew some pews and push them up against the doors to make sure that if the doors, hopefully the doors have some sort of closure on them, but I would push some pews up to make sure that there's a second layer of protection. That's what I would do. And hopefully there's a skylight or something that if the place is overrun, you can break through it and get out through the roof, rappel down, and just run.
Okay. Final question before we start telling people where they can find you, find your books, and follow you on social media. Safety in numbers. Do you believe in that, or do you believe in being on your own?
Safety in a couple numbers, I would say.
What's the max? What's the max?
People who you can trust. I would say whatever that is.
Well, okay.
Well, the thing is, if you don't know, like if you have a family of 10 and you're good.
I hate my family, besides the ones I live with now. No. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm with you there. If I had my druthers and I had to pick, if the zombies were coming and I needed a distraction, and I was like, I've got my husband here and I've got my father here. I'm like, bye, Dad. So I would say a handful of people. Like if I was on the run from zombies, I would want my husband with me. I would want my in-laws with me, my mom, my close friend who's in Michigan. I would say those people I can trust with my life.
Okay, now this is so we're running out of time. Myself, it would be my son, my wife, my daughter. Your bait. You just said your close friend in Michigan.
I know.
All right, how would you contact that person?
Well, we have his address, so
okay.
If cell phones are down,
yeah,
we would start. It would be a long trip, but we would either find some sort of vehicle, or we would walk it. Pennsylvania is a far cry from Michigan, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, please tell everyone where they can find you online, find your books. I know they're available on Amazon. We already been through that. But say people don't have Prime, people don't have a Kindle. Where could they actually, or they want to get a book? Barnes and Noble, you already said. Where can people find your stuff? Please let everyone know.
They can find it, like you said, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo. I'm on Google Play Books. I'm on Apple Books. You can find out anything, any book you want to buy that I have. You can just go to my website, which is GayleKatz.com. So Gayle, Gayle, Katz, KATZ.com. You can go there and just click on books, and there is a page that will take you all the way down. So GayleKatz.com/books. You will see every book I've ever written and published, and you'll be able to see where they are. And if they're not highlighted, they're not there yet, but they will be soon. So GayleKatz.com.
Sorry about that. A lot of our listeners and a lot of our viewers are collectors. As you can see behind me, we do a lot of collecting. Say someone has a book and they want it to be autographed or personalized. Do you offer that?
Wow, I don't, because I've only had one person ever ask. But if somebody wants me to sign a book, it would be my pleasure. I don't do it, but if they want to mail me a book, I'll sign it and mail it back. I'm flattered. I'm blushing. Can you tell?
Thank you so much for being on. Make sure you guys go over to her Facebook page and follow Gayle Katz, and make sure you see From the Desk of Gayle Katz. Go find her books. And I'm definitely, some of the books are like Brazen Planet sounds wicked cool, and so does Sorceress. That's like Harry Potter gone bad right there. Please tune in next week. We're going to have a comic book writer and artist that you guys never seen before, and he will be on. I am Lewis. You can find me each and every week right here with my sister from another Mr. That Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan. Make sure you go over to her Facebook page, say hi, tell her you miss her. Give her a like. Go on over to the Instagram page. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Go to thatwonderwoman.1 and give Jamie a follow, even though her followers are more than the Angry Geek Show followers, which is like wicked crazy. Go over to a website, buy some merch, get a t-shirt, show off your colors like everyone does, and we really appreciate it. And every Tuesday night, you can find me with ink-slinging Jack Purcell. That's right, the man from DC Comics himself, as we talk about professional wrestling on the Faces and Heels podcast. And soon, really soon, Joe St. Pierre from Marvel and DC, and Ian Chase Nichols himself. We have a special project lined up, and it all has to do with a web slinger and the King of the Seven Seas. I'm Lewis. Check it out and be safe, San Diego.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.